And tonight we're glad to include the original Lewis family. I'm going to read their bio here. The Lewis family, America's first family of bluegrass gospel music, from Lincolnton, Georgia, and they performed as a band from 1951 to 2009. They were devoted exclusively to bluegrass gospel music. Members of the band covered 3 generations of the Lewis family: James Roy Pop Lewis, Blanche Pauline Mom Lewis, Nanny Omega Miggy Lewis, James Wallace Lewis, Talmadge Lewis, Polly Lewis Williamson Copsey, Janice Lewis Phillips, and Roy M. Little Roy Lewis, Travis Lewis, and Lewis Phillips. Crowd favorites across North America, the Lewis family brought bluegrass gospel to the people, often playing 200 shows a year and playing in all 48 continental states as well as Canada. They played in all kinds of venues such as colleges, civic centers, schools, churches, as well as places like New York's Lincoln Center. They also played at the Smithsonian and the Grand Ole Opry. They played many times at Bean Blossom from 1954 to 1992, 38 years. They've also had a TV show in Augusta, Georgia. Their show was syndicated for a time and held a record for longevity until it was discontinued due to their heavy travel schedule. Their fans were diverse, ranging from Elvis Presley to James Brown, the godfather of soul. The Lewis family shows were unique as they featured beautiful color-coordinated clothing, often sewn by Mom Lewis. Many different song arrangements, distinctive harmonies, bright, lively, and uplifting gospel music, and of course, Little Roy's special style of performing. Little Roy played hard, driving Scruggs-style banjo. Bill Emerson called him one of the great powerhouse banjos, and as good as they come. He also brought much laughter to the shows with hilarious gags, utilizing costumes and props. And his lightning quick wit and sense of humor, the family played a perfect straight man for him. The Lewis family shows made people feel good and feel happy. Besides being entertainers, the Lewis family were also composers. Wallace and Polly credited with 84 published compositions, co-compositions, and arrangements. Pop Lewis wrote the classic A Beautiful City, I'm Not Alone, and Near Home. The Lewis family recording career spanned from 1953 to 2005. In that time, they released over 80 albums, CD, video, and DVD projects. There have been 2 child musical prodigies in the Lewis family. Little Roy first picked up a banjo at age 6, and within a couple of hours of picking it, he was picking his first song without any instruction. By age 8, he won his first banjo contest. Lewis made his recording debut with Lester Flats, or at Lester Flats Bluegrass Festival, with the album at the age of 5, and following year he appeared on the television special with Carol Burnett. The Lewis family has won many awards, including 11 Dove Awards, IBMA Distinguished Achievement Award in 1992, the IBMA Bluegrass Hall of Fame, the Georgia Music Hall of Fame, and Pop Lewis is in the Gospel Music Association Hall of Fame. Since the band disbanded in 2009, 2 family bands spun off. 1, the Little Roy and Lizzie Show, and 2, the Lewis Tradition with Lewis Phillips, his mom Janice Lewis Phillips, and his cousin Travis, son of Wallace Lewis. So I would like to invite Little Roy Lewis and Lizzie to please come out here, if they would. Little Roy, we're going to put you right here. Give him a big hand, the newest member of the Monroe Bluegrass Hall of Fame. Now, we had a couple others that wanted to be here tonight, but unfortunately they couldn't be. Janice would like to have been here, and so would have Lewis, but they had some commitments. So we have got a tape from Janet Lewis, and Dave, if you'd like to play that for us, we would appreciate it.
Hey everybody, I'm sorry I couldn't be with you today, but I wanted to let you know how thrilled and honored we are to be inducted into Bill Monroe's Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame. The first time I saw Bill, I was a teenager and the whole family went to see him at the Tignall, Georgia school, and we fell in love with him. Over the years, we worked several shows with Bill, and he became one of our dearest friends. And I know I speak for little Roy too when I say, on behalf of Pop, Mom, Mickey, Wallace, Polly, Talmadge, Esley, Travis, and Lewis, thank you so much for the great honor.
All right, we would like to unveil this portrait that will hang in the Bill Monroe Bluegrass Hall of Fame forever. The original Lewis family. Look around there at that, little Roy. It's a beautiful picture. And of course, we also have the star for the Walk of Fame. Well, sure, we'll be walking on you. So now you're the newest member of Bill Monroe's Bluegrass Hall of Fame. Would you please give us some of your thoughts?
Yeah, let me get out here because you can't see me. It all started a long, long time ago. I remember I was just a little boy, and one Sunday everybody went to church but me, and Pop was there, and I knew it was an old banjo up in the attic, and I begged him to get it down when they was at church, and my cousin, Pop's nephew, he came down and tuned it up for me. Now Pop, the head was busted on the old banjo, so Pop took a needle and thread and sewed that thing up so I could make a tune out of it. And my cousin and his nephew tuned it for me. Anyhow, if you go to Pigeon Forge at the Gospel Music Hall of Fame, you'll see that banjo. I donated it to them, I don't know, about 35 years ago, and you can still see the thread in the old banjo. Yeah, I'd like for you to go in there, and you're talking about an ugly fella. They put my face in bronze. I'm an ugly man in bronze, I can tell you that. My sister's in there too, and my daddy is in the bronze on the wall. Sometime when you're in Pigeon Forge, go by to see that. But this is such an honor for me. I never would have thought as many times that I've sung with Bill Monroe and that this would ever happen to me. I remember the time that Daddy and Mama, they bought us tickets to go to Washington, Georgia to see Bill Monroe. Well, we listened to the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, that was something else every night. And I heard Bill Monroe and Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. I heard the Foggy Mountain Breakdown in 1949, and I was wondering what in the world was happening, because when I started picking the banjo, I didn't have two picks, a thumb pick and another one. And so my banjo sounded like a three-legged dog running. But I wanted to sound like Earl Scruggs. So my brother Wallace went down in South Carolina and saw Mac Wiseman, and he saw the banjo picker with him that night, and stopped by the music store and bought me my third pick. And then in 1950, Daddy and Mama bought us tickets to go see Bill Monroe in Washington, Georgia. Well, when I got there, I was so excited that I wanted to go to the back and see what kind of automobiles or vehicles they rode in. And I remember it was a old Chrysler limousine. It probably wasn't old at the time, but it's probably of 1948 or something like that. And I sat back there, I went and got in my seat, and I sat back there, and I just could hardly wait to see Earl Scruggs and Lester Flatt. Well, when they come out on the stage, this is in 1950, when they came out on the stage, I said, that can't be Earl Scruggs. Well, that was Don Reno, Mac Wiseman, Chubby Wise, and the girl, Betsy. That's what I saw for the first time. Well, anyhow, my brother Wallace, we were playing for square dancing and for hot dog get-together and stuff, playing hillbilly music. And a fella came by, and he told Mom and Dad, as they said, it was the Woodman of the World, and they were going to have it. Mama said, well, that's kind of a religious thing. Y'all got to learn some gospel songs. So Wallace went to Augusta and he bought a Bill Monroe record. And the song was, I'm traveling on by the help of my Savior. Now, I never will forget it. 78, we learned that song, and then he started buying everything Bill Monroe had, and we were learning them songs. Well, in 1953, we hired Jimmy Davis. You know, he was the governor of Louisiana twice. We hired him to come down and do a show and with other gospel singers. And when he heard us, he told my dad, he said, Roy, he said, you know, you got a good thing going here, but y'all don't need to sound like Bill Monroe. And from that day on, we started making our own sound. Although Bill Monroe is the one that gave us what we needed to start with. And so we started making the Lewis family sound. And then in 1953 and a half, a fella in our town, it was a television station went on in 53, Thanksgiving of 53, Channel 6 in Augusta went on the air. And we went down, this fella, Farming Home Hour. And this man from our county agent, he said, Roy, he said, I can't talk. I want y'all to sing for me. So he went down and talked about the boll weevils and all that stuff. And then we sang. And on our way out, a man stopped us. And it was a 53 Buick. I know we were getting in it. He said, y'all need a television program. And in just about 6 months, we had our television program in 1954. And we stayed there for 38 years. Every Sunday for 38 years, and then after that we've traveled so much. What we did is videotape came in, and we could do our programs, and then they were sent all over the United States along, you know, our program would come on right after Flat and Scruggs and Dolly Parton and Porter Wagner. And so in Memphis, Tennessee, we was on Memphis, Tennessee, the same program, and that was Elvis's favorite show. And also Chet Atkins' daughter lived there, and that was his favorite show. So the Lewis family, we got our first verse at the end of '59, and we wrote in that thing a while and got another one, and then we started making good money. In 1966, we bought a brand new bus, and every 10 years, I would put 1 million miles on it, 100,000 miles a year. So. And when Conway Twitty died, it was time for us to get a new bus. And 2 weeks after he passed away, we bought the bus, and I put 1,048,000 on it. So I drove a lot, and I love people. If you'll watch me today, I ain't been laying down. I want to go see everybody and see what they got it talking about. Yeah, and I know that's the way I like to do. And what you see out there is what you see on the stage. I love everybody, and this is one of the biggest honors that I ever had in my life. And I walked in there, I hadn't seen that place. That is amazing. If you have not been up there, you're going to be amazed when you see what's on that wall and all through there. I want to thank everybody for coming to see us and supporting the Lewis family. Thank you. I did 58 and a half years singing gospel music, and then 15 years ago, me and Lizzie, because some of them had to retire, and so me and Lizzie put together. So I've been doing a total of 73 years, and I tell you what, I hope I live long enough to do 100, because I love all y'all, and I love bluegrass music. And if it wasn't for Bill Monroe, it would have never happened. This is a great place. Thank you.
Ron, before you walk out, explain this jacket to me. Can you explain that to everybody? The jacket. Can you explain the jacket and the guitar strap?
Well, you know, I went up to see Janice, and she said she had already sent something, and I always like to add a little something to it, and all along I'll add some more. This is one of my old banjo straps, got Little Roy on it, and the jacket. I don't know. I imagine that dates about 1970 or so, 68. That's when I wanted to be Elvis, you know what I mean? But anyhow, that's where it comes from. And then you need to go up there and see one picture that I bought. Well, I bought some other stuff up here, but it's one picture that I want you to see. I went in the house, in the Lewis family house the other day, and the first Lewis family picture, 1953. Is up there, the original picture, so I want them to see that. And I want to thank you, and thank you for the nice thing you said about me, and thank everybody. Appreciate it. I hope y'all enjoy our show.
Welcome to the Monroe Bluegrass Hall of Fame. Give him a big hand, come on. All right, are y'all ready for a great show from Little Roy and Lizzie? All right, stay right there, and we're going to get everything set up. Just hang tight.